MicroStation Essentials, references. References are a very important part of any drawing system. References allow you to use an existing design and reference it or refer to that existing design in your current design. One of the most common uses of references is the border. You will have one border that's drawn for your organization, and it's used in every single drawing that you wish to publish or print. The idea is that you reuse data efficiently so that you do not have to redraw that graphical object over and over again, like a border. So you create the border once and reference it in all of your drawings. One of the nice advantages of references is that when the reference drawing is updated, the source drawing is updated, the reference of it is updated in your design as well. So when the source changes, wherever that source is referenced, they all get updated too. You can think of references as a look but do not touch system. You can view, crop, print, scale, and do some other activities with a reference, but you cannot edit it inside the drawing that you are actively in. So you cannot edit your references. You have to go back and open the reference file itself to edit it. So let's see how references work inside MicroStation. References are found in your primary toolbar, or you can go to File and choose References. This opens up the reference dialog box, and this can be docked at the bottom of the screen or at the top of the screen. I'm just going to let it float for right now. There are many different parts of this dialog box with a variety of tools available for you, settings for your references, and some information about references once they've been attached. But at the outset, the only thing you can do is attach a reference. So when I select Attach, I now am asked to find a file. In MicroStation, you can attach a file to itself. In this case, I'm going to choose the same file that I'm in, but I'm going to choose a different model inside this file. So there's many different graphical models in this file. One called hydrography is the one we're after in this case. Once I select hydrography, I can add a description, and I can choose a method by which I want to attach this. So in this case, I can attach it with a coincident methodology, or by a global origin methodology, or by some other methodologies that might be available to me. I can then choose a scale that I'd like to use. I'm going to use 1:1 because I know the hydrography file is coming in at the same scale as the existing streets file. I can decide whether I want to use nested attachments. So if the hydrography file has files attached to it, do I also want to attach them to the streets file? Actually, I'm in the streets model. You have a variety of different overrides and a variety of different things that can handle for new levels. For example, if there is an existing level in the hydrography model, do I want to show that level to be available in the streets model? You can also choose what happens with line style scales, and you can choose whether or not you can display the reference, snap to the reference, and locate the reference, treat the reference as an element for manipulation, so I can move the entire reference, rotate the entire reference, use the true scale, scale the line styles, and a variety of other options available to me. Once I click on OK, I can see the file appears in the reference dialog, and there's my hydrography data available. Going back to the reference dialog, I can choose to display it or not, so I can turn off the display of the reference. And I can check out some of its features. So the scale is set to 1:1, there is no rotation, there is no offset. There is the ability of using georeferencing here. So I can use, if both of these files had georeferencing stamps in them, I can use those stamps as a way of co-locating them or using them as an attachment methodology. At this point I could move my reference, copy the reference, scale it, rotate it, mirror it. I can do a copy and fold if I'm in 3D and change its presentation options. So if I had 3D stuff, I might want some things to show up as rendered in the reference. I can also detach the reference. I can also do some clipping of the reference or masking out information in the reference. So many different things can be done at this point. Let's take a look at another attachment. A very common thing to do is to attach a border. So we'll find a border here. It's going to be found in the same file as a different model. Here's ref border. And this time I'm going to use the method called standard views top. I know what my scale is in this case from previous experience with this file. And I'm not going to choose any other settings here and simply click on OK. This gives me the option of locating the border where I want it. So I'm going to essentially find something in the center of the drawing and use that as my location point. So there's my border. You can see that I have highlight modes here. I can set it to highlight the entire file, do a highlight and a boundary, or just show the boundary or show nothing. This makes it easy to find the reference data when you want to. Once you have references attached, you could actually do some different things with it. I can actually right press, hold the right mouse button down on a reference element, and I can exchange it. That means close the current file or model and go into the other file or model. So now I'm in the reference border. So just to see how the reference stuff works, I could add another little piece of geometry here. And if I use my back button to go to the previous model, that geometry automatically appears here. And remember, this is a piece of geometry that is in a reference. And if I try to move it, I only have the choice of moving the entire reference, not just that piece of geometry. So I cannot edit it, but I can move the entire reference. I can scale the entire reference. I can view it and print it and rotate it and do other things with the entire reference. So, references are very helpful because they allow you to reuse data efficiently. You can reference a file or a model inside a file into your current design. The idea is that you don't want to redraw things, and you want to make sure that everybody is using the same standard. Remember, when the reference drawing is updated, it is updated in the files that reference it. And finally, references are a look but do not touch system. References are a look but do not touch system. That is, you can view, crop, and print a reference, but you cannot edit them.